The U.S. military spends billions of dollars each year in research and development. Most of this goes to defense and weapons programs, but occasionally there are things that also have civilian applications. Over the years, there have been a number of developments that have influenced how we dress, cook food, travel, and much more. In this video, we will take a look at some of the products invented by the military. In 1942, Eastman Kodak was testing a variety of compounds for use in plastic rifle sights. While doing so, they inadvertently created cyanoacrylate, a compound later marketed as superglue. This material was incredibly durable, but it was determined to be too sticky, so it wasn't used at the time. 9 years later, they took another look at the compound when it was used once again. This time, the chemists realized the potential for the compound. Superglue was first sold as a commercial product in 1958. Later on, it was used by military surgeons in the Vietnam War to help stop the bleeding when it was sprayed over wounds. Undergarments of one kind or another have been worn by people for thousands of years. In 1904, the Cooper Underwear Company marketed a cotton pullover to male bachelors with no sewing skills. However, they never were that popular until the cotton T-shaped undershirts were officially made part of the Navy uniform in 1905. This new pullover T-shirt served as a better alternative to higher maintenance traditional button-up shirts. Because of their convenience and practicality, these shirts immediately appealed to the military. Their use in the Navy is what made the term crewneck shirt popular. In the early 1900s, rubber was harvested from trees which were located in South America, but soon after, Southern Asia became a leading producer. The global supply of rubber was fine until World War II broke out and the supply chain was cut off from Asia. This was an essential item not only for tires but also for various things on airplanes, tanks, vehicles, and ships. Because of the shortage, the U.S. government turned to tire manufacturers and other companies to create a replacement. They were able to create a synthetic recipe that is still in use today. The rubber shortage also led to the invention of a fun toy that kids have enjoyed playing with for generations. In 1943, a chemist at General Electric came up with a stretchy, bouncy material that was made from boric acid and silicone oil. It was different, but this new material was of no use to the U.S. military. However, one of the GE executives was showing off this new material at a cocktail party and it caught the eye of a Peter Hodgson. He purchased the rights to the product and gave it a new name, Silly Putty. It was then packaged in small plastic eggs and sold as a toy in the 1950s. This fun toy did meet the needs of the astronauts in the 1968 Apollo 8 mission. They used Silly Putty to help keep their instruments in place. Silly Putty has remained a popular toy with more than 350 million units sold since 1950. Until the 1920s, there never was a ubiquitous form of feminine hygiene products and many women relied on homemade ones. During World War I, there was a cotton shortage which forced the increase of demand for something else and a cheap alternative padding was developed. The Kimberly-Clark Company, under a government contract, was able to manufacture Cellucotton, which was an absorbent material made from wood pulp. This new material quickly caught the attention of Red Cross nurses who began to use Cellucotton wads during their menstruation. After the war, Kimberly-Clark began to repurpose the Cellucotton into sanitary napkins and Kotex pads. Initially, many drugstores refused to carry Kotex pads due to sensitivity to the issue. However, it is estimated that 70% of menstruating women in the modern day use tampons. The USDA and the Florida Citrus Commission began work on the development of a frozen juice concentrate in 1943. Up until their collaboration, orange juice that had been frozen and then thawed would then turn into a brown color. Not only that, but it also became quite bitter, which the troops dubbed as battery acid. After a little research, the USDA scientists discovered that adding a little dash of fresh orange juice to the concentrate before freezing it would preserve the flavor. In 1945, the process was patented and became available for anyone. Minute Maid began selling frozen juice products commercially in 1946. Today, orange juice has become one of the most commonly consumed fruit products in the U.S. Aviator sunglasses are certainly an iconic fashion item today, but they were once a necessary item for test pilots who were exposed to the dangerously bright sunlight in the upper atmosphere. During the 1930s, an optics manufacturer by the name of Bosch and Lohm developed the sunglasses under the direction of the U.S. Army Air Corps. In 1937, Bosch and Lohm rebranded the sunglasses as Ray-Ban because the sun's rays would vanish. These Ray-Ban sunglasses were also sold to the civilian population. By World War II, aviators became a standard accessory for pilots and other military personnel. During the 1950s, they became even more popular when Hollywood stars began wearing them. People have continued to wear them, and they have become a cultural fashion. During World War II, the U.S. Army had a need for a light reconnaissance vehicle and asked automakers to develop prototypes and submit proposals. In the end, the government chose the design of the American Bantam Car Company, which was a four-wheel drive vehicle with a top speed of 65 miles an hour. The name of the vehicle was General Purpose. It was abbreviated to GP and eventually nicknamed Jeep. The Jeep proved to be an invaluable vehicle in the U.S. military, and General Dwight D. Eisenhower stated that the Americans would not have won the war without it. The company manufactured 600,000 Jeeps during the war and later sold the post-war surplus to the public. The military use of Jeeps has dwindled since World War II, but the Jeep Wrangler has become a big seller in the civilian market, and it bears many of the design's characteristics of the original. In World War II, soldiers that were stationed in the South Pacific were also battling another killer, which were the mosquitoes that had the potential of carrying malaria. The Department of Defense partnered with the scientists of the U.S. Department of Agriculture to take on the task of developing a way to deliver insecticide as a fine mist. The first aerosol can was patented in 1941 and was nicknamed the bug bomb by soldiers. In 1949, a cheaper plastic aerosol valve was patented and it was marketed commercially to the public. Since that time, the aerosol can has been refined and is less harmful to the environment. During World War II, the U.S. military needed a durable adhesive tape that would maintain its bond under harsh field conditions. Johnson & Johnson was tasked with the job of developing this new product, and they initially called it duct tape for its waterproof nature. After the war, civilians began to utilize this product in housing booms to seal the central heating and air systems. Duct tape began to be used so much in ductwork that it was renamed and recolored to match the silver metallic color of HVAC systems. Today, there are multiple companies that produce duct tape, and many people have found numerous uses for the product, including crafts and repairs. Radar uses microwave technology, and it was used by the military in World War II to help locate the enemy. However, its use for cooking food was discovered by accident. An engineer with the defense contractor Raytheon Company noticed that a candy bar in his pocket had melted while he was conducting research on microwave radar technology. The company realized the potential of microwave technology to heat and cook foods. In 1946, they filed for the first patent on the microwave oven. The first commercial microwave oven became available in 1954 and was about the size of a refrigerator. Today, most U.S. households have one, and many people would be lost without it. Some of these products that were developed and invented by the military have changed our lives forever. As we look to the future and wonder what's over the next horizon, keep your eye on the military. You might just get a glimpse of the next best thing if you know what they are researching and developing. Thanks for watching.